We're going to begin our tour right here at the famous Mystic Bascule Drawbridge. Mystic was settled in 1654, and the Dutch were the first ones to arrive here. The Dutch were followed by the British, and the bridge in front of us is the third bridge to go across the Mystic River in the history of Mystic. The first two bridges, located right here, were wooden bridges, and they were opened and closed using teams of horses. In 1922, this bridge was built. It's called a bascule bridge, B-A-S-C-U-L-E, bascule. That word means balance, and this bridge is balanced by those very large concrete blocks on the western side of the bridge. Each one of those blocks weighs 230 tons. Their combined weight, nearly 1 million pounds, is precisely the weight of the platform the cars drive over. So the bridge operator, who's up in that tower watching soap operas, only has to unlock the bridge. He gives it a little push to get it started, throws it out of balance, and when he does, gravity takes over, and the bridge will open and close using its own weight. One of the little known facts about this bridge is that it's so perfectly balanced, it can actually be opened manually with a hand crank, if necessary. The blue and white sign that's here to the right is telling boaters which marine radio channels the bridge operator is listening to. Channel 16 is for the Coast Guard, and Channel 13 is assigned to bridges and boats. The black and white signs are river gauges, and they tell us what the clearance is under the bridge in feet. The Mystic River is a tidal estuary of Long Island Sound, so we get a 4-foot tide here. This is 80% salt water. We're subject to the tides of the Atlantic Ocean. We're just about at low tide right now. We're coming in off low tide, actually. So at high tide, there'll only be 3 feet of clearance under the bridge, and at low tide, there's about 7 feet. Now we're going to make our way to the north here, going to Mystic Seaport Museum. These are condominiums on the right, and they're 30 years old. 30 years ago, they were selling Chevy cars and trucks here. It was a dealership. That's right. Then they built these condominiums. They offered them on the market at $85,000 each back then. Yep. That was the biggest mistake I ever made, not buying any. I missed it. Now they start at $500,000, and they go up close to $1 million. Some people bought 2, and they combined them into 1, and they sell in the $900,000 range. This is Schooner Wharf to our right. That's where you can rent kayaks and paddle boards. They'd love to set you up with a boat, a life jacket, and a paddle, and you can come right out here onto the river and paddle to your heart's content. Now we're on our way to Mystic Seaport, and the first boat we're going to see this afternoon is the Mayflower II. The Mayflower II from Plymouth, Massachusetts. It's been here for 6 years. It has been completely rebuilt here at the museum. It's in the water right in front of us. Kind of a colorful boat. All the rigging and the masts are all set. Got the British flag flying in the highest point. And the boat was built actually in Great Britain and given to the United States as a gift. The Pilgrims landed in 1620. So this August, next month, is the 400-year anniversary of the Pilgrims landing at Plymouth Rock. This is the Mayflower II. Imagine 112 pilgrims and 31 crew members cross the Atlantic Ocean in a boat exactly like this, along with their chickens and pigs, a couple of head of cattle. Must have been a real pleasant trip. If you look up into the forward mast, you're going to see some of the crew up there. They're bringing that sail in. You see them up there? It's a nice photo op right there. They're all standing on a wire up there, pulling that sail in. This area of the museum is called the Preservation Shipyard, where large ocean-going wooden ships are built and repaired. In fact, they built the Amistad here back in the 1990s. The Amistad's home port is New Haven, Connecticut. Has the lifetime assignment of bringing education and goodwill to all ports. And the Amistad is visiting us here this afternoon, so we're going to see the Amistad a little bit later on. But right now we're going to pull in here to the right and start looking at some of the museum's collection of larger vessels. And we have three boats of interest here. The vessel Rowan. To our right, Rowan is an eastern rigged dragger. In the middle, the L.A. Dunton is the prime example of an 1800s New England commercial fishing boat. And on the far side of the dock, the steamship Sabino, built in 1909 in Casco Bay, Maine. Sabino's a coal-fired, steam-powered boat, so someone's shoveling coal into a boiler to power the Sabino on the waterway. Coming up on the right is the Emma C. Berry. That's the oldest commercial fishing boat in the United States. Built for Captain Jonathan Berry and named for his oldest daughter, Emma. And then we have Regina M. And Regina is a New England sardine carrier from the mid-1800s. And this is Mystic Seaport's boathouse area. If you visit the museum, you can take out a rowboat just like these folks, or a sailboat, and have your own personal on-the-water experience with the Mystic River. And this is a Cape Cod catboat, this sailboat that's approaching us. It's an antique. These boats were traditionally built in Osterville on Cape Cod. If you visit Mystic Seaport, they'll take you for a ride on that boat, and that captain will be happy to have you. They'll sail you all around the bay here. Now the lighthouse out here at Lighthouse Point is a replica of the oldest lighthouse in New England. The actual light is located on Nantucket Island. It's called the Brant Point Light, and this light was built to honor that light as the oldest lighthouse. where Mr. Seaport Sailing School is located. We have a program here for kids between the ages of 7 and 15 years old. Kids come here to learn how to sail. 4 nights and 5 days of summer sailing camp. And they learn to sail right here. To our right is the Joseph Conrad. This boat was built in Denmark for the Danish merchant service. It was a training vessel designed to bring young men out to sea for a year to learn to become sailors. The Joseph Conrad is an iron-hulled boat. It's named after the author of the novel Heart of Darkness, Joseph Conrad. That's the book that the movie Apocalypse Now is based on. And the Joseph Conrad's bust is sticking right out of the front of the boat here on the right. If you look up there as we approach the front of the boat, you'll see it. See him up there? There he is. There's his head. Kind of creepy. And here's the Charles W. Morgan. This is the last wooden whaling ship in the world. Morgan was built in 1841 in New Bedford, Massachusetts. This ship has sailed in every ocean on Earth at one time or another. Charles W. Morgan is the last wooden whaling ship left in the world. It's 117 feet in overall length. It deploys 13,000 square feet of sail. And it has more than 3 miles of line and rigging to manage the sails. Had a crew of 21 men. And it can carry 3,200 28.5 gallon wooden barrels of whale oil. This is the Mystic Whaler. It's a private boat. It's a commercial boat. They'll take you out sailing on the coastal waters and maybe a sunset cruise. And they'll cook you a lunch or dinner while they're out there. Here's the Amistad from New Haven, Connecticut. The boat was built here, launched here. You may remember it from Steven Spielberg's movie, The Amistad. It has a lifetime assignment of bringing education and goodwill to all ports. And the new exhibition hall is in front of us. That odd-shaped building is designed to look like a wave crashing on the outside and like the hull of a ship on the inside. And that's the new exhibition hall. All the rest of these boats are here visiting from somewhere else. Anyone who has a boat can bring it here. And you pay a fee for that. It's $2 per foot per day. You get to live in a 17th century whaling museum for a few days. What could be more exciting than spending the weekend in a museum? I asked my wife about it 3 years ago. It didn't go very well. That's right. I said, why don't we think about staying in the museum this weekend? What could be more exciting than that? She said, well, name anything. Anything you can think of. There you go. That's Latitude 41 restaurant to our right. A great choice for lunch or dinner, Latitude 41 at Mystic Park. And we are going to head out into the bay here. That concludes the museum. Move across the bay and head up to Old Mystic, and I'll have more for you when we reach the other side. So until then, enjoy the ride here. Got a beautiful afternoon going. Cemetery. It's one of the oldest and largest cemeteries in New England. Elm Grove is a multi-denominational cemetery. It's open to the public. They laid the first stone here in 1880, and they're still accepting new customers here. So it's not too late, although it might be a little too early. There's a beautiful chapel here in the cemetery, and folks use this chapel as a wedding venue. They actually get married in the cemetery. How do we get that though? Yeah, it's nice. Some of the stones in there are like works of art, honestly. We're going to head across the bay. There's a yellow house on the hill in front of us, and that house has quite a long history. Started out in the 1800s. It was a finishing school for young girls from wealthy families. They came here to acquire social skills and a boarding school education. In 1942, it was converted to a boarding house open to the public. They rented rooms to folks visiting Mystic, and many celebrities of the 40s and 50s have stayed there, including Joe DiMaggio, Marilyn Monroe, Ernest Hemingway, Pablo Picasso, and the great Albert Einstein have all stayed there over the years. And the folks that you see along the riverbanks here on the shoreline are catching blue crabs. They have a chicken leg on a string, a long-handled net. They're catching blue crabs here. Here's that chapel off to the right where folks get married in the cemetery. So if you're thinking about a place where you might want to get married, or maybe you want to renew your wedding vows, may I suggest a cemetery for that? When we pass under these bridges, we're entering the waters of Old Mystic, Connecticut. These are the headwaters of the Mystic River. And these are the Mystic River Twin Bridges. They carry I-95 north and southbound. Everybody's got their own method of catching those crabs. Now on the left-hand side of the boat, just ahead of us, you can see two telephone poles, and at the top of those two poles there's a beautiful osprey nest up there. Osprey are in the eagle family. They're birds of prey, and they're excellent fishermen too. The nest is about 4 feet in diameter. On the opposite side of the river here, there's a group of buildings. That's the Whitehall condominium complex. And downtown they want $500,000 for a condo. Over here you can buy something for half that amount, and you get your own boat dock with it. So that's about as good as you're going to do on the Mystic River. And these are the headwaters of the river. This is Old Mystic, Connecticut. We're going to make a turn to the south here now. We've reached our turnaround point. When we turn to the south, get ready. We're going to have a beautiful sea breeze coming our way. So all hands prepare to cool off. We're going to have a nice headwind. And this is going to be a very refreshing ride home. We're going to have this nice breeze right in the face. left side of the boat by those red and white umbrellas. That's Seaview Snack Bar. They have the best fried clams east of the Mississippi River over there. Fried clams and fish and chips. They make a mean lobster roll over there. So if you're looking for a lobster roll, don't pay $38 in downtown Mystic. Go and get one over there. Only $17. And you have enough money left over to buy an ice cream. Sailboat to our left is called a ketch. It's an antique, that's a wooden boat. The first mast is taller, the second mast is shorter, the steering wheel is on the back of the boat. That's a ketch, K-E-T-C-H. If the first mast was shorter and the second mast was taller, it would be a schooner. That's the difference. beautiful white house with the American flag flying out on the seawall and two white Adirondack chairs on the front lawn. Back in the 1970s, that was the summer cottage for the astronaut John Glenn. The right side of our boat, there's a white house. It has an elliptical window in the eave. It has black shutters, and that house was built by Captain Eldridge Palmer. Captain Palmer also discovered Antarctica. And all of the houses coming up on the right side of the boat are collectively known as Captain's Row. Each one of them was occupied or built by a sea captain when Mystic was in the shipbuilding business. Right next door, there's a gray house with black shutters and the silhouette of a tall ship in the middle of the house. That was a commercial fishing net manufacturer in the colonial era, and in later years it became an important stop on the Underground Railroad. I hope you enjoyed your ride, everyone. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you for choosing the Mystic Express for your boat ride stops. We do appreciate your business. Hope you enjoy yourself wherever you're going or whatever you're doing after this. But above all, stay safe.